Good morning, I'm Alicia, the dietitian here at the hospital, and with me today is Shelby. She's an Ohio University student dietitian, and we're going to prepare two recipes for you. The recipes we've chosen use the same ingredients. They're just prepared two different ways. They're easy, affordable, and nutritious.
Before we get into making our recipes, we just wanted to emphasize the importance of having a well-stocked pantry. Whatever's going on in our crazy busy lives, as long as we've got some good pantry staples, then we should be good to go to make a well-balanced meal.
So when we're thinking of a healthy meal, dietitians think of variety and balance. And so when we're talking about balance, we mean it has proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. And then we are eating a variety of foods within those categories to make sure we're getting enough vitamins and minerals.
Once the macronutrients are squared away, we know we've got enough protein, fats, and carbohydrates. How do we know that we're getting enough micronutrients, enough vitamins and minerals? When I look down at my plate and see a mosaic of colors and textures from plant foods, I know I'm on the right track. A variety is the best way to get different micronutrients in the body.
One of the best examples of this is chili. Our chili today has 3 different colors of vegetables. It has protein and fiber in the beans, and it has healthy fats in the olive oil. So when we're making chili, it's really great because the chili can be used again and again. If you make a big batch, you can use the chili for other recipes, such as spaghetti sauce or a base for other soups and stews. And so our chili today is very basic. We put a little bit of heat on it, but the best thing about it is you can adapt it for what your family likes and any of your family's allergies or intolerances or nutritional needs. So when we're making the chili, the most important thing to do is to have the oil preheated in the pan. That way our onions and garlic can cook together. That releases a lot of the flavor and it softens the onions and garlic. We want to make sure they're soft first before we start anything else. The other thing that makes this really easy for you is if you have all of your things prepped, weighed, measured, whatever you need to do, and out and ready. We call that mise en place, which just means everything in its place. And so you can see here we've got everything ready to go. It makes it easier for cleanup, it makes it easier for storage. That way if you don't use all of something, you can just put a lid on it, put it back in the fridge. You're not reaching across, doing a lot of chaotic movements in the kitchen. It's all ready to go. You can kind of pretend you have your own cooking show. So while our chili is cooking, if we wanted to boost the nutrition in this, we would go ahead and add some kind of protein. If your family eats meat, you could add chicken, you could add lean beef to your chili soup. It doesn't have to be vegetarian. Ours is just vegetarian today. If you wanted to boost the nutrition even more, you could have sides like rice, you could have a little veggie quesadilla on the side, and even chips and salsa. That would really enhance the nutrition in the dish and make sure everybody has enough to eat besides just a bowl of chili. So our chili has whole tomato that we've crushed down, and tomato paste. It's got a variety of herbs and spices in it, but you can adapt it any way that you like. So some folks would use tomatoes right out of their garden. Because we're focused on our pantry, we use tomatoes that came from our pantry. It's really up to you and what your family likes. And you can put as much heat on it as you want for your family. And once you get everything in the pot, you can just cook it down. And if you want it to be more thick and kind of stew-like, you can add more tomato paste to it. If you want it to be thinner and have more of a broth, then you would just add more water or more of your tomato juice in there. So as this cooks down, you just put a lid on it and kind of move on to other things. So that's what I'm going to do. I've got it all in here heating up. The longer you can let chili sit and slow cook, the more the flavors will meld. A lot of times chili is even better the next day, so if you want to make this a day ahead and put it in the fridge, you can. And then take it out when you're ready to use it, and the flavors will be really strong in there. So I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on it, and while it's cooking, Shelby can start her recipe and she'll tell you all about her recipe.
All right, now we're gonna make a 3-bean salad using pretty much the exact same ingredients that Alicia used in this really yummy smelling chili. So I've got my green beans. We used frozen green beans. Feel free to use fresh or canned. If you are using canned beans or really any sort of vegetable, just take a look at the nutrition label and see what the sodium content is. We're aiming for less than 140 milligrams per serving. Something that says reduced sodium, low sodium, that's a pretty good indicator that you're on the right track with that. You can always rinse your beans too, anything to sort of take the excess sodium out, especially if that's a concern for you specifically. Okay, so we've got our green beans. And like I said, I thawed these earlier. We rinsed our other beans, so everything's just like ready to go when we are. I've got my white beans. Use any sort of white beans that sound good, any sort of common bean. This is super customizable. Now I've got my kidney beans. Working up a real sweat with this one. And then we've already chopped some onion and some pepper. This can be really awesome to do at the beginning of your week because you can throw them in salads, you can throw them in your omelets, you can top your meatloaf with them, whatever you're gonna do, that now you have a little fun, delicious vegetable garnish to get some added nutrition, some vitamins and minerals that you might not have had otherwise. Okay, so I have gotten some Italian dressing out. So I'm using the same ingredients that Alicia did, but you can see that this is going a complete different direction. Obviously, hers is hot, mine's cold. Hers is more of a main dish, mine's kind of a side. I'm using an Italian dressing, which really puts it in a totally different flavor profile, but we can still beef up our nutrition if we want. So Alicia mentioned that she could serve her chili over rice, or with rice, or pasta, or some sort of grain to like chips to beef up your nutrition. So for me, I could do those same things. I could even heat the salad up, which sounds funny right now because I'm adding Italian dressing, but you don't have to, right? You can just mix all of these together, put them on your pasta, put them on your rice, eat them with crackers or chips just to get some extra goodness in your body. And if I'm making this dressing from home and it doesn't have any salt, and I know that all of these are really low in sodium because they're fresh or low sodium canned goods, then when I eat them with chips, it's not like an overload to my system, if that makes sense. So it's just all about balance, right? It always comes back to that. So I'm going to mix my salad. And if I had some fresh herbs, if I was by my grandma's garden, I would go grab some of those and top it. You can use whatever dressing you want. You can add cheese. Having some good feta in here would be some good protein. Also add some sodium, that's something to consider. Okay, that looks so good. And just for fun, because I had these around, and you might have these in your pantry too, I'm gonna top it with some sunflower seeds, because this is a good way to add some more micronutrients and some protein and some fiber. And I'm going to add some dried fruit. I have dried cranberries. And we're dipping into a lot of different food groups here in a lot of different colors and textures. And so that's something that we were mentioning earlier about how variety really is important, nutritionally speaking, but also just for your palate. Like you want to switch it up sometimes, and you might not want to buy this ingredient for this recipe only and shop so specifically. You might just want to get a lot of things that you know you can prepare a lot of different ways. So I don't know if you can see this very well, but it looks really good.
It looks really delicious, and just looking at it reminds me that we could really use any vegetable for these, any color vegetable you want, any vegetable that your family actually likes to eat. You could use any grain in there. You could add pasta to this, you could add rice to this, you could really adapt it any way. You could use a different sauce. And really that goes for the chili too. You could use any different vegetable. So I think that's the beauty of the pantry recipe, is these are affordable items that you have on hand, and you can just mix them together and add some spice, and you have a really delicious recipe that didn't take very much time or energy.